Hi, welcome to another episode of
Here's Why.
I'm Jimmy Talbert.
I'm Mario Lizarraga.
How corny was that?
We're here for you.
Just like marketing, it's a little bit corny, a little bit cheesy, but it's designed to get your attention. So, we're in the season of Lifecycle Marketing, and what we're going to be talking about today is specifically how to get traffic to your business. But before we get into that, I want to go through a quick overview of Lifecycle Marketing so that you can get an idea of what that entails. So, before we go through the different stages of lifecycle marketing, what I'd like to do is make sure that you're thinking about two separate things. I want you to remember that your prospects are people. So I don't care if you call your customers, clients, patients, students, whatever. I don't care if you sell B2B or B2C. At the end of the day, you sell person to person. And it's important to create a narrative, create a story, create a brand that people can relate to, people can associate with. The other thing that I want you to remember is that systems scale relationships and processes scale relationships. So having those systems, having those processes within your business is absolutely critical to your overall success. So let's quickly go through the different stages of lifecycle marketing. So it starts with getting traffic to your business. So this is to your blog, getting traffic to your website, also gaining traction on social media, getting people to engage and interact with you throughout these different platforms and across these different mediums where people may look. Okay, the next stage is converting leads. And so when we look at that, this is getting people to give you some information. In most cases, giving information is in exchange for something of value, and we'll dig in deep on that when we go through the lead, the converting leads video on this series as well. And then the next is the nurturing your prospects, which is your sales process. Whether we're talking about your initial sales process of trying to convert your leads into clients, or your long-term nurture or short-term nurture, things like that. The next stage is converting the clients. This is where the sale happens, making sure that that's a smooth and seamless process so that you don't run into those hiccups so low in the funnel when it ends up costing you a lot of money. Next stage is delivering and wowing, making sure that every client, every customer that you work with has a fantastic experience, wants to be an advocate of your business. If they ever have a conversation with someone about your product or your service, making sure that you're the one that they recommend. And then the next stage here is upsell and cross-sell, which is giving you the ability to actually increase that lifetime customer value of everybody that you work with. And then the last stage is getting referrals and reviews. And I don't even have to tell you how important that is in today's day and age. In the social and digital age, that is absolutely critical to the overall success of your business.
Wow, that was amazing. Thank you, Jimmy, for that.
You are welcome, my friend. So, like I said, today we're going to be talking about getting traffic. So, a lot of people look at traffic and they still have their sales goggles on. And when you're in sales mode, it's kind of like hitting your prospects all the time with a hard sales message. And really what that is that's like a caveman going out and beating an animal with a club. It just doesn't make any sense. So tell me what you think of as a business owner when you think of getting traffic.
I think of all sorts of things, which is kind of the problem. I really don't know where to begin. I know I hear of this thing called Facebook and social media, which, being 45, is not my favorite thing in the world. I definitely don't like putting myself out there like I should. Being on video camera has been a little awkward, which I've gotten used to. So in the past, I used to think of your traditional methods, more of the print stuff, my BNI groups. I really focus more on traditional referral-based marketing. I have done recently some other contests, some Facebook contest things that have proven to bring in some good traffic, which was really intriguing to me, and it showed me the power of social media. Mm-hmm. And that's just scratching the surface, but that's what I think of.
Okay. All right. Well, really, there's kind of two methods that I try to encourage people to think of. One of them is where to go look for your customers, whether we're talking about online or offline, and where to get that traffic. And then the other is what methods specifically are the most appropriate for your business. And I say methods because there's really not one that no one should be relying on one traffic source to generate all the traffic, generate all the exposure and the awareness for their business. They should really be expanding out to lots of different things.
Makes sense.
And so, as lifecycle marketers, right, rather than trying to go and club everything and to be in sales mode, what we want to do is we want to kind of flip that to attracting and drawing in people who fit our ideal client profile. And that's we talked a little bit about the ideal client profile in video 1, and same thing as there. If you would like to have a free consultation where we'll break down specifically who fits your ideal client profile, what kind of language, what kind of message is going to get them to engage with you, we do offer a free consultation. As you said in the other video, it was incredibly impactful with your business when I took you through that the first time.
Oh, it was so insightful. I'd never really considered the things that we discussed, and actually, what stood out the most to me was the how I was really focusing on all of the, not the pain points. You know, 80% of my messaging was going towards the things that only 5% of the people react to. And that was kind of what really stood out, where I should be really targeting my messaging towards the other component. And I forget, explain that to me briefly.
Yeah, so what we talked about then was when we break things down, is what do you help your ideal client achieve and what do you help them avoid? And as we know from psychology, right, 80% of decisions are actually made based on avoiding some level of discomfort, pain, whatever, right?
That's right.
And only 20% are made on drawing towards something exciting, yet in most cases, 90% of the marketing out there and everything is based on achieving as opposed to a level of avoid. And we talked about how in different parts of your marketing, there's things that you want to highlight, helping people achieve, but where you want people to take action, where you want to add velocity to your sales process, that's where you touch on the avoid stuff. And we're going to talk about that when we get into both capturing leads and when we talk about nurturing prospects as part of this season. So stay tuned for that. But like I said, if you do want a free consultation on your ideal customer profile and how to speak to them, it's something that I've worked with literally thousands of businesses on, and I've never had anyone say that was not a good use of my time. In most cases, they say things like, I've never looked at my marketing that way in the past, and I've never I've known about all these problems, but how to piece it all together has always been a mystery, and it really it turns a lot of light bulbs on. So click in the link below, request that free consultation, and like I said, I promise you it's going to be something that's impactful to you and your business. So let's talk a little bit more about getting traffic and how to get exposure to your business and how to really attract the right kinds of clients in. And it starts with, like I said, starting with some sort of magnet. And magnets come in two different ways. There's exposure magnets, which we're going to talk about in this video, and then there's lead magnets, which are intended to generate leads, right? And in many ways they go hand in hand, but the next video we're going to talk more about lead magnets and how to get leads.
Would this be considered a lead magnet or an exposure magnet, or both?
Getting traffic, we're going to be talking about an exposure magnet.
But this our podcast right now. What would this...
Exposure.
This would be an exposure magnet.
That's right.
Okay, makes sense.
That's right.
Just want to clarify.
I'm sorry if it wasn't clear.
Yeah, it wasn't clear. I'm the dumb business guy who doesn't understand marketing. All this industry jargon just throws me.
Yeah. So let's go ahead and I'm going to step up to the screen here and I'm going to take you through. This is an incredible, we call it our multi-channel content distribution machine. And what we're going to do is I'm going to kind of walk you through the different aspects here. But what this does is this does a lot of different things, and we're going to refer to this in multiple videos throughout this season. And each one is going to be impactful to you and your business. So let's start up here with creating an initial video. And the reason we look to video is video has become such an incredible tool for businesses to get exposure. Think about it. How often do you sit there and read a blog anymore? How many ebooks do you think people read anymore? Okay, a few years ago that was very common. In today's day and age, unfortunately, doesn't happen a whole lot anymore. And so that's why we're focusing on video, and then all of the content that we can actually pull from the video, and all the different ways that we'll be able to build exposure for your business with that video. So we typically start by creating a video initially, and then from that, we're able to expand that out and create multiple shorter videos from that, as well as a podcast show that you can leverage to help you build traffic. From that audio transcript, it's very easy to also create a blog, and so on and so forth. And when I show 3 videos here, just to be clear, I'm not talking about only 3 videos to every one. Sometimes, I mean, we've had customers, we've had clients pull what?
I've had
10?
13. No,
13?
13.
Out of one, 30-minute video, 20-minute video?
It was actually a 20-minute podcast
20-minute,
segment.
yeah.
And it was 13 videos that pulled
13 different videos, aside from the other segments that people are able to essentially pull. So, and then from that, being able to use that content, both the long-form video, the short-term videos, and everything else throughout social media. Now, what this does, social media, if you think about it, is just another search engine. And how does social media get people to continuously watch? Well, they get people to continuously watch from having content to put in front of them. So when you're someone who's putting a lot of content out there and people are engaging with it, that social media channel is likely to get you in front of more and more and more people. Does that make sense, Mario? I mean, I know we've had this conversation before, but on a surface level, is that something that resonates with you as a typical business owner? Yeah,
absolutely. I mean, I get it. Again, as much as I hate the social media realm, it is the best way to get in front of people. And the fact that we can target and people do, I mean, I go onto Facebook and I will search for certain things, and I will go to YouTube and I will search for things. And all the time, I see businesses that pop up in relation to what I'm searching for. And you know what I never see? My business. And because I'm not doing it, and I haven't, it's taken me a while to embrace it. But the companies who have are just crushing it, and I'm very envious. So I'm embracing it now. And
right.
And this point forward is going to become a very prominent part of my marketing life.
Well, and here's what's interesting about social media. Because everything online is so intertwined, it's a lot of people say, well, no one goes on Facebook to search for mortgages. Well, you're absolutely right. That being said, if you've positioned yourself as the mortgage expert, when people search for things in other places, you will naturally and organically, your message can start showing up in front of them as well. Because of, again, just these things are essentially search engines, and they're all looking at what everyone else is doing. And
if you don't mind me chiming in
sure.
on that, what about this funny little thing called a pixel, right? So you start talking about Facebook. If I was at one point searching on Google for mortgages, and I went on some jimmymortgage.com,
yeah.
And funny thing, when I go back to Facebook, guess what's popping up in front of me?
Sure enough.
jimmymortgage.com. Sure. So even though Facebook isn't necessarily the beginning search engine, that is the beginning of that search engine life cycle.
Right. And it's monitoring not just what people are searching for, but different things people are doing and people are engaging with.
So scary.
Even if they just naturally, it is a little creepy.
Yeah, whether you like it or not, it is what it is. But it's pretty creepy. Let's be honest.
Here's the thing. I'm a pretty private person with things in my personal life and my family, but I also recognize the value and the impact that social media can have, and it's because of that that I leverage it for my business and for my clients' businesses is because I don't have to like it. There's a lot of things in life that I don't like and I wouldn't involve my family in, right? But that doesn't mean that I don't leverage something to help my business and help me gain that exposure. So there's two aspects to this, really. One is value to your ideal client, right? And that's something that if you don't know what's valuable, it's pretty easy to find out. Again, that's the sort of thing where in our consultation we go through, again, we look at also traffic to anyone's website, what are the search terms, things like that. It's pretty easy to configure what's going to be valuable. We also have a brainstormer series on it's available on episode 1 of this season as a download if you want to download it. So feel free to check that out as well to help you know what type of content to utilize. And then the next the other aspect is just getting it out there in multiple places, right?
Like in this case, I assume we're going to be placing this. Where are all the places we're going to be putting this to gain traffic from? YouTube, Facebook, LinkedIn, Instagram, or
Instagram.
Well, these little chunks.
We'll have segments in Instagram. We'll have segments on things like TikTok. There'll be a podcast. There's going to be a blog, and then also we'll likely use different snippets.
All from one show.
All from one show. We'll also likely use snippets throughout in different aspects of our nurture funnel as well, because the topics that we're talking about in this season
within the email campaign.
That's right. Yeah. Because the topics that we're addressing here are so versatile that you can get a whole lot out of it. But again, in this aspect, we're talking about not necessarily just content creation, but content creation with the intention of creating traffic and creating that exposure for your business and attracting in the right kind of client as opposed to going out. So there's two different ways you can get traffic to your business. You can get it organically and you can pay for it, okay? Paid traffic. I'm not saying you shouldn't do it, okay? Everybody does it, us included.
Yep.
But if you only rely on paid traffic, it's like any drug, okay?
Give me more.
Yeah, you're always going to need more. And it's something that can it can be very difficult for your business to get off, and all it takes is someone who's not associated with your business to lift that lever one way or another, and your cost of acquiring leads can go up just dramatically.
Well, and to make matters worse, if I'm not mistaken, I just heard that Google's getting ready to take away cookies. So
frightening.
Which is very frightening when you're talking about paid traffic, because my understanding is that's how they kind of track how the process of where you've been and what's working, what's not. So the privacy issue becoming so prevalent within the world, and to have Google say they're taking away cookies, I wonder how that's going to affect paid traffic, which we don't want to talk about in this episode, but I'm very curious to see how that world is affected. But getting back to your point about the organic traffic, and you just letting people know who you are, them getting to hear your voice, get to know your personality, your intellect, your aptitude, everything that comes along with you, right? Now all of a sudden it's you're getting people seeing you, the real person. They're buying you.
You're absolutely right. And let's talk real quickly as well about, because I'm sure people are asking, well, what type of content would I create? You know, I'm a lawyer, I'm an accountant, I'm an insurance agent. Who's going to want to watch my stuff? Who's going to want to engage with my content? And so I guess first, what would you say to that?
I would say, I don't really feel that anybody's necessarily going to watch all of my content. I just need so much of it out there across all mediums that, because I know that Google's paying attention. I know all the big gurus, the Facebooks, the gurus, they are there they want the people watch and are putting out the most content, because that gives them more, credibility and authority in their space. Google recognizes that because you have so many pieces out there pointing back at you. And so I look at content creation more in that respect than I do thinking that I'm not really trying to become the influencer thing that people are just going to watch my show because they think I'm a genius.
That's a very, SEO centric
That is
answer.
Organic.
Okay.
I like the organic. I'm more of an organic guy. I don't like the social paid traffic
We
stuff.
don't want to always have to pay for stuff, right? I don't
No.
like paying for things that I don't have to. If we can get it organically, let's get it organically. So there's, in my opinion, I guess there's two aspects to it. One is creating educational content that does position you as the expert.
Right.
The other, when people say, well, who's going to watch, right? I want you to think about the last time you sat in traffic because there was an accident. Why is there traffic around that accident? Is it because it's actually blocking any traffic? In most cases, no. I live in Phoenix, and I live probably, 20 miles from the studio here, 25 miles from the studio. And when there's traffic, in most cases, 99% of the time, it's not blocking any one lane. The problem is that everybody wants to look at the accident. And so whether or not you think anyone will be interested, yeah, everyone hates that.
I hate that.
Whether or not you think anyone will be interested, people watch things, people engage with things, and there's people, potential clients and customers of yours who would absorb your content, share your content, and believe in you if you put messages out there consistently. But it has to be consistent, and that's why we create a lot of pieces of content with one video, or one season of videos, a ton of pieces of content. It has to be consistent in order for those social media outlets to start recognizing you.
You know, that's a problem. I also started with video, but I didn't really understand the video process prior to starting up the video studio, is that I would try to make one video and I expected results from one video. I didn't really get this concept that I have to do a series of videos, a ton of videos. Once you start the content train, it's kind of going in perpetuity to really get traffic.
Yeah.
Right? You're not going to gain a lot of traffic off of 1, 2, 10 videos. I mean, it takes, you've got to keep it going for a long time. And that is a challenge for us business owners to not only find the time, find the budget, and find the topics, the things to talk about.
Right.
You know,
right. Well, that's one of the big things that we help our clients with, is coming up with topics and ideas, and also creating some persuasive messaging. So
persuasive messaging. I like that. I like that.
So it's, again, to recap, it's a matter of having a lot of content out there that's consistently being pushed out. What you're doing is you're training those search engines to know who you are so that you are getting in front of people consistently. Another stat, so I know that we've all heard the 7 to 12 touches to convert a lead to a client, right?
Yeah.
Well, in today's digital world, okay, it's also between 5 and 10 engagements before generating a lead. Very few leads are actually generated on the first engagement. It's a matter of people seeing you in multiple places and then engaging with you. And it's a matter of creating educational content. It's the concept of reciprocity, right? You give people things and they like it and they learn something from it. They get value out of it. And then they're willing to give you something in return, which in some cases is just some information, right? A lead. And then eventually we hope to be a sale. So make sure that you subscribe to the channel, follow us, and also make sure that you're listening to our podcast. Stay tuned for the next episode, which is going to be on converting leads from all this traffic that you're going to start generating if you follow our methodology. And make sure that you click the link to request a free consultation that will go over your ideal client, how you can create specific content that will engage with them. Like I said, I promise you it'll be a huge value to you and your business. And until then, let's go ahead and sign off.
And if you'd like to create a show of your own like this, you can reach out at any time.
Absolutely as well. Again, fill out the form in the description below, and we'll make sure that you get taken care of.
And we'll buy you a beer.
Take care.